Great Debaters Contest is brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.
Welcome to the best show for the intellectual mind this side of the Sahara, the Great Debaters Contest. We are in Eldoret region with some mind-blowing debates for you. I am Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Yambok. Our motion is the National Youth Service should be made compulsory to all citizens. Our teams are St. Patrick's High versus Kapsabet Girls. Who will emerge victorious?
We'll let the debate gurus take the stage. Proposal number 1, you have 3 minutes.
True to self. True to country. This is the motto of the NYS. And what is it? The National Youth Service. Now, the NYS is a body that was established in 1973. The main aim of establishing this body was to provide an opportunity for the children whose parents had been engaged in the fight against the fight for freedom, a chance to support themselves. Why? Many of the parents had died fighting for our country, our freedom, and so it was a way of the government giving back by at least helping them to support themselves. Now, it went on for a few years, but then it died, and then it was relaunched in 1995. Recently, the Jubilee government has been at the forefront of trying to add more flesh to the NYS, to give it more power. And it has done so by introducing new disciplines into the NYS. Initially, we had tailoring, plumbing, mechanics, and various other disciplines. And some of the new ones that have been introduced include ICT, which is basically, they're trying to integrate technology. Given we are in the 21st century, we're in 2015, and basically there's a lot of technology going around. Also, they have incorporated others such as tourism. So, on to my first point. So the main aim is to provide the youth with engaging activities and train them in various fields, such as tailoring, plumbing, and mechanics. Now, with the skills that they get from these trainings of the NYS, the youth are able to engage in income-generating activities. And in effect, the net effect is that our economy will grow. It will grow because we are empowering many youth in our country. And we're giving them the skills that they need to actually go out on their own and not say, oh, there are no jobs in Kenya. Recent statistics showed that from all the graduates that usually graduate from university, about 50,000 of them are assured that they will not have jobs. That is by Sinovate. So when we empower youth by giving them the chance, the skills, and the opportunity to grow in terms of tailoring, in terms of mechanics, in terms of ICT and tourism, we are enabling them to provide our country with the necessary skills that we need to improve our economy. Aside from that, the NYS instills values of patriotism to the youth. And this prevents the radicalization of youth or the luring of youth into various terror sects, such as the Al-Shabaab. Because the amount of time that someone has between the transition from high school into campus is usually a couple of months. But when they engage in the NYS, that time they spend it wisely and they become patriots. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes for your opening statements.
We speak about the National Youth Service as a service that is administered to the youth. Why? To enhance them with skills, values, and even to help them in activities that develop the country. But have we asked ourselves the nature of the skills? One, they're issued with craft certificates. They're issued with diplomas. We are in a third developing country, the third world countries. The big question is, will diplomas help us get an opportunity in the job sector? Will it? We speak about emergence of militia and vigilante groups. Where do they come from? National Youth Service. They have been trained in such a manner that their mindset is given into militarism. It is paramilitarism, which can lead to post-stress traumatic disorder, which is a disease of the brain or the mind that is caused by torture, stress, and even pressure. Would you want your children or your kids in the future to suffer from such? Would you want to be a victim of such? Big question. We are told if your tool is always a hammer, then your problem, you'll see it as a nail. Meaning, this National Youth Service Program enhances violence in one way or another. In that, I am trained as a youth service national young mind setter. I'm supposed to relate to issues that curb insecurity in one way or another. I am supposed to learn defense, but ask me if I am attacked or if I come across something that I don't like. Maybe we disagree. What will I tend to use? Violence as a way to help me out or save me from the type of challenge that I'm facing. We are told that at some period, the National Youth Service failed. Why do we think it failed? Because of lack of sustainability from the government. They were not able to sustain the number of youths that had enrolled in the past. Do we think that they will be able to sustain them right now? We are at a budget. The country is in debt. National Youth Service, I believe, is free, as we all know. We do not pay anything. How do you expect the Kenyan government to sustain millions of youth, and yet they were not able to do such in the past? Thank you.
We'll now hear rebuttals, beginning with the proposers. You have 3 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow students, I'm Alan Litali from St. Patrick's High School, 10. I'd first of all like to disagree with my counterpart that has just been here, saying that 80% of the vigilante groups that have been in the country are composed of former NYS officers. What proof does she have to give to these representation of the Kenyan country so that she can prove on what she's saying? She has also said that the country cannot sustain the NYS. I would like to disagree that by the following points. In the National Youth Service, the youths are equipped with skills that can help in disaster management. Take an instance whereby there was a collapse of a building in Huruma slums in Nairobi at the beginning of the year. Most lives were lost because the youths had no tangible skills to help in the rescuing process. But through the NYS, the youths are equipped with these skills, that there's no need of waiting for the rescuing agencies, but the youth can take the task of rescuing the people. Then we have national unity. We have the headquarters of the National Youth Service in Gilgil. Different tribes, youths are taken from different tribes and join these headquarters. So they come to interact with one another, hence giving each other morale. And as they go to the community, they work as Kenyans and not as people from different ethnic backgrounds. So you find that NYS shall promote unity in the country. Then we have the point on role modeling. The other day, from the newspapers, a group from Ghana was sent to Kenya on a 5-day tour to come and emulate what the youths are doing in the National Youth Service. You find that this puts our country on a positive image on the world's platform, hence attracting more investors in the country that will lead to the prosperity and economic development of the country. Then we have employment. From the newspapers, especially Daily Nation, you find that there was an agreement between the Kenyan government and the United Arab Emirates. This agreement is going to secure 100,000 job opportunities for NYS officers. This shall help solve the long struggle we've had against unemployment in the country, and the youth shall never be idle to engage in terrorist organizations. Honorable Anne Waiguru, the Devolution Cabinet Secretary, also said during an interview after she had won an award for good governance, she said that in the next financial year, there shall be 200 job opportunities that shall be secured by the country, and this shall help Kenya improve and shall help Kenya solve this problem of unemployment. So let's speak in one voice as a country. NYS is a source of success and prosperity to the Kenyan government that all of us cannot afford to lose this opportunity. Let's take this opportunity as one people. Let's fight towards the achievement of the Vision 2030. Alan Litali from St. Patrick's High School, Iten.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes for your rebuttal.
Edwin Bulwer Layton once said that the pen is mightier than the sword. Making national youth service compulsory to all citizens is similar to development of psychomotor skills and physical strength as opposed to the development of the mind. Recently, in Mathare area, Nairobi, more than 500 residents have already been issued with 30 days notice by the Nairobi City County to pave way for national youth service projects without compensation. Why are they displacing the poorest of citizens without compensation for their own benefits? This is a third world country, and we all know that the bridge between the rich and the poor is very huge in this country. Now, displacing the poorest of citizens so that they can develop projects of the National Youth Service, will it help us in any way towards achieving Vision 2030? I guess not. I am very much aware of the unity and the agreement signed between the United Arab Emirates and the Kenyan government to offer 10,000 slots to the NYS graduates. Yes, but do you think this will lead to brain drain? If we have 10,000 slots, that is 10,000 able youths being exported into foreign job markets, will this not lead to brain drain? I mean, as much as we want to develop the military sector, the defense sector, we also have to create a way to develop other fields, such as medicine. We also need engineers. Now, if we export military men to other United Arab Emirates countries and foreign countries, will we not decrease the slots in other fields, such as engineering and medicine? I am not just debating, but I'm exercising my duty as a citizen to safeguard the rights and freedoms of the future generations. I mean, we had made a step forward towards civilization, but making NYS mandatory, we are taking a step back from civilization. Thank you.
We've always been the kind of girls who are always at Safaricom and Pastor. We use it at times to pay fees, transfer of money.
Hey, I'm standing. Where am I gonna get the cash to go home? I even don't have the fees. I'm just wondering how really I'm gonna get home.
Yeah, relax. Got Safaricom and Pesa.
Take part in the M Challenge by sending your short song, rap or poem about Safaricom M-Pesa on WhatsApp, and you could win 1,000 shillings in Safaricom airtime.
The audience has posed questions to the debaters on stage. They will respond to them. The proposers have been asked if they have proof that Devolution Cabinet Secretary Anne Waiguru will fulfill her promises in regards to the NYS. And of course, the opposers have been asked if they were contradicting themselves by saying that exporting NYS youth to the US would cause brain drain, yet they said that the diplomas offered to the NYS are not worth the paper they're printed on. We'll let them respond to the questions now. Proposer number 3, you have 3 minutes.
True to self, true to country. I like to think about that as I respond to the question that was posed by Brenda from Metk Girls on what proof do I have if Anne Waiguru will live up to her word. After the Madaraka Day celebrations, Anne Waiguru proceeded with the president of our country, who is Uhuru Kenyatta, to the State House, where they flagged off the program for NYS in 21 other counties And these programs were able, in a center such as Kibera, to raise 200 million Kenya shillings from just the savings that these NYS officers have put up together from their 471 shilling allowance. By that I mean, the savings that they put in from their 471 shillings allowance is 141 shillings, leaving them with 330 shillings. The 141 shillings in the circles that were in Kibera were able to raise 200 million shillings. So think about this. If this same program was implemented in 21 other counties, doesn't that serve as proof enough to show you that she has what it means, and she says what she means when she says that this program will be able to help the youth at the root level? As we were researching about the NYS, we thought that it is not our right to come here and lecture you as the youth of our country, Kenya, and tell you what basically our parents are saying. No. I would like you to ask yourself a question. As our fathers were fighting for independence, did they imagine that one time there would be children suffering from kwashiorkor 52 years after they bled for our country? No. But through the NYS, through the training that they undergo, and through the training that they have received under the rebranded NYS, they can be able to start fish farms, ablution blocks, and also rabbit farming. By this, take for example, you take a fish farm, incorporated with an irrigation scheme in Wajir County. And with fish, as we all know, fish provides proteins. And from these proteins, these children that have been suffering from kwashiorkor, they can be able to get proteins. Hence, we can be able to live up to the dreams that our fathers had for us as they were fighting for independence. Also, the NYS is not just a program by the government so that they can impact the youth with psychomotor skills. No. The NYS is involved in instilling that saving culture in the youth. I'm quite sure that as in our day-to-day lives, in our high schools, when we are given pocket money by our parents, most of us, as you're all aware, tend to squander the money. Even if Sinovet were given the opportunity to be able to go and do a research on high schools on how they spend their money, they would be able to realize that the youths do not have good money management skills. That is why through the 471 shillings that they are given daily, the youth are deducted 141 shillings, whereby that 141 shillings goes to the circles, and the circles are able to generate this amount of money, which totals up to 200 million shillings. So ladies and gentlemen, please, let us think again when we say that the NYS is a program that was started by the government to radicalize our youth. It is a program that truly lives to its motto, which is true to self and true to country. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to respond to the audience.
Sharon Gakuo, Kapsabet girls. I'll first like to answer my friend there who actually asked of the contradiction issue. Brain drain. That is self-explanatory. They are being drained in their careers. Look at, for instance, the United Arab Emirates. Look at that. That is obvious. They are being recruited to military. Again, about the diploma issue. Who would want a diploma certificate, whereas others are fighting for doctorate? What are you meaning? That is not contradicting yourself. On to my first point. This manipulates the mind of the youth into the military minds. What are we talking about military minds? This is the minds filled with violence, brutality, and cruelty. Who would want a kid who's more of a violent kid? Nobody would want. On the issue of the 2007 to 2008 election, it was clearly stated that some of these people who were used some of the youth people here were used to commit election multi-practices. Yeah, sorry for that. So, the main aim for the youth is it to go and being taught on how to practice on such theft. They stole elections. That is not what we're going to do there. And then on to my second point, we have the relative issues. Government save a lot of resources and promote efficiency into the disciplining of the youth. They claim that the money taken there, it is helping the youth into other stuffs. This is siphoning of public money. Our money. We're not talking of other people's money. This is totally siphoning of people's money. How can you say that the money is used to inculcate the virtues, that they are taught virtues, to be honest? What was the use of the 844 system then? Why were they going to school? That is self-explanatory. Why were you going to school then? My fellow colleague here just actually talked of taking a balanced diet. So your main issue going there was to go and feed yourself or being taught? Seriously, this is so... Were you going there to be taught on how to eat or on how to acquire virtues? Thank you.
We'll now hear closing statements. Proposers, you have 1 minute.
Point of correction to my very esteemed opposers. Well, the NYS does not in any way train youth in paramilitary skills. As a matter of fact, they usually undertake drills that are used basically in physical fitness. They maintain the physical fitness of the youth. They ensure that they are healthy. Thank you. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. We are all talking and we are so excited about the Vision 2030. How can we achieve that vision if we want to keep our youth jobless? Our opposers said that by promoting the NYS, we're encouraging brain drain. I don't think that's the case. Something called GDP, usually, well, the GDP basically is income. And income is in our country and also outside the country. So why have people inside the country who are not working and instead of sending them outside the country to work, when you calculate the GDP for people outside and inside the country, it will be higher. That shows that our economy is growing. Ladies and gentlemen, let us not be fooled. The NYS is the most positive thing that has happened since the new government.
Opposition, you have a minute as well.
I believe we all know the issue on terrorism. Asks ourselves this question. The National Youth Service trains youth with certain skills. Yes, maybe we are not trained in militarism or paramilitarism, but have you checked the latest article that was released on Google and Facebook on the Jamaican issue, Iraq issue, and related countries? Paramilitarism is actually given as a lesson in the National Youth Service. Don't we think that this enhances the rate of terrorism? Why? The youth will not get employment, which will then make it easier for the terrorists to recruit them. Another thing, don't we also think that it will not allow the country to have investors? If we introduce the National Youth Service, who will want to be a citizen of Kenya? Who will invest in Kenya? Simply because they will have to go through the system of the National Youth Service to be able to acquire citizenship and to bank their interest in Kenya. Angela Atieno, Kapsabet Girls.
The judges have decided to weigh the options given by the students, because this is a motion that touches on you, especially after school, is it?
I wanted to just say this. You guys should join NYS. You guys are Kenyans. By you not doing this, it's not bringing national integration. You are students. You're just supposed to abide, you know? You're just being disturbed by adolescents. But in the end, we all know that it's going to help us. Amen?
I would not like to join the NYS because I have a talent to develop. And in those 6 months after high school, I intend to develop my debating skills. Debating is my talent. And I am not ashamed to say, thank you.
Kapsabet, you are awarded 63%. Please give them a round of applause. St. Patrick's, you are awarded 69%. You are our winners for the debate.
We do indeed hope that debates like this one help shape the minds of young people and their opinions, and we'll have more such debates like this on future shows of the Great Debaters Contest. From all of us here at the show, it's goodbye till next time. I am Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Nyambok. Thank you for watching.
The Great Debaters Contest was brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.